Howdy y'all, I'm Jacob. Welcome back to the ranch. Well, to a ranch. I'm out here at the 5-0. This week we're going to shift gears just a little bit, spend a little bit of time on one of my favorite pieces of equipment. We've got some more pasture we need to get cleared, but first I need to get some pre-checks done. So let's get into it. When we first got this unit out here and fired it up, it started pissing coolant, and what we found out is it looked like a rodent had gotten in and chewed on one of the coolant lines. So ended up patching that to get it running again. Just want to make sure we keep an eye on it. Overheating this thing would not be good. Well, that's not a good sound. Oh boy. I swear if something comes flying out of this thing at me. Well, y'all missed it. Apparently a raccoon crawled in the engine bay. This area we're working on is about a 10-acre pasture, I think, that we're trying to clear to be able to get good pasture grasses planted. And I wanted to show you, I think in one of my past videos when I was out with the goats, I was talking about the root system on mesquites and how that tractor just wasn't enough to really grub a lot of them. And granted, this is a bigger tree, but I think this is probably a good example of what that root system can do. I've had some of these that when I've popped up the root base, you can see tap roots running both down and laterally, and some of those can go out 40-50 feet or more. keep checking my phone, so I'm using GPS coordinates on Google Earth to try and navigate the area that we're working to clear out. It's probably not the most accurate thing to do, but it seems to be working pretty decent. If I had thought about it, I would have brought my iPad, because that's got built-in GPS receivers in it. Probably a little more accurate than what my phone can do off cell towers. Well, yeah, I was able to get a little bit done, but I'm out of time for the out of time for the fun stuff. We still got a couple calves we have to wean, so I'm gonna get packed up and head over there and see if we can pick them up. All right, volunteer number one. Come on, Bubba. Nope. Nope.
What number is that one?
That's number 9.
Okay.
And 450.
That's what we guessed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, now 490.
Well, make up your mind.
Well, what's still to make up its mind? You know, it would help if
Disconnected, not chew through. Is it chew through?
Oh yeah, it's cheaper.
So what do you think? What are you gonna say? 450? 490?
Go 450.
Okay.
Dang mice.
Yeah. All right, it's running through.
I think it would help if I open the slider. that working out for you? Keep going. Go on. Shh, shh. Shh, shh. There you go.
Turn around.
Yeah.
Come on. Other way. Other way. Pull again.
There's a wasp nest in there somewhere.
Probably.
A whole bunch of them flying out.
What we got?
I need your tag. 6 is 5'10".
Think that's right?
No,
Okay.
but it's best we got.
Okay.
Get in there with your friend. That's not good. Turn around.
Oh, you knocked it out, didn't you?
Yep.
Come on, kids. Away, that way. Hey, you're not helping. You hear me trying to lane through? No way!
Yep.
Good God.
It's always something. I don't think chick cares for calves.
I know, she just tried to do the teeth thing.
Yep.
Yeah, seemed to like the fence next door.
Yep. I really wish y'all'd stop messing with the fence. Hey, Dixie. Get back, girl. Get back. Good girl. Boy. Sweet pupper. You sweet pupper. I think they might be missing their moms. Just gotta love weaning time. Boop. Why do you have a snotty nose? Can I help you? No, don't lick me. Well, it's starting to become a trend. Didn't quite get home in time to get some good filming because it was well after dark. We were able to get these two unloaded and into the goat corral and bedded down so that we can keep an eye on for the next few days while we get them weaned. And thankfully they're right next to the house, so we get to listen to them. Because who doesn't love listening to bawling cows all night? But they're selling in pretty good, so I guess I can't really complain too much. I've mentioned before, but the nice thing about this corral is that we're able to use it to help train animals to electric, because we've got a couple electric lines running here so that hopefully they'll hit them and get used to them and learn to stay away from them. Learned my lesson from the last time when we brought the other calves home. With them being weaned, the first thing that they're going to do when you bring them into a new area and separate them off their mom is they're going to start roaming and testing fence and trying to find their mom to get back to them. So having them in here is kind of just a reassurance to know that they're not going to get out, hopefully. And they'll get used to the electric fence so that whenever, here in the next couple days, when we do turn them out, hopefully they won't test it. But they are calves, so there's a good chance they might. Well, the sheep are over here talking to me, so let me get some of their feed out and I'll update y'all on what we've been watching out for the past week. Matt! I'm not talking to y'all. Talking to y'all. Come on. Matt! When we pick these ladies up, excuse me, thank you. When we picked these ladies up, we knew they had been out with a ram and had been exposed and had the chance of being bred, but we didn't know for sure if they were or not. Well, last week we noticed this one was starting to develop a bag, which is a sure indication that, one, she's bred, and two, that she's due pretty soon. So we've been keeping an eye on her for the past week, seeing how she progresses. This is our first time going through lambing with sheep, so we're hoping some of our goat experience transfers pretty well, and we're pretty excited to hopefully get some new lambs out of her. We ended up pinning everybody up in here so that we could feed them and get them some supplements and not have to worry about the calves getting into their feed, which has worked out pretty decently. But I prefer to use round bells out here because square bells are a bit more expensive and a little bit more labor, and the only way to feed them hay when they're up in the pens like this is with square bells. So it's a trade-off, but hopefully we won't have to have them in here just too much longer. Last week I was thinking there was probably two more ewes that may be pregnant besides her, but now I'm not so sure. She may end up being the only one that we're going to get lambs out of. Based on timelines, we're looking, I think November 14th is really the latest anybody could lamb out, and I don't think anybody else is really showing significant signs of being bred or at least being late term. But there's still a little bit of time, so I guess we'll see. Alright, I'm going to get a little bit of feed out for the other calves, and then I'm going to give y'all an update on the fields we seeded so y'all can see how they're doing so far. Excuse me, sir. I don't think you belong out here. think he thinks I don't see him. Well, I'm out here in the front pasture now, taking a look and seeing how everything's doing. And I have to say, I'm pretty excited and optimistic about what I'm seeing. The southern portions of this front pasture that were really sparse and didn't have just a whole lot of vegetation is showing some really good germination. And the things I'm most excited about in that area are the spots that didn't have any vegetation at all and was just plain dirt. Those are areas that really need to get covered, and the fact that they're sprouting is getting me a little bit excited, because I'm hopeful those areas are going to fill in with vegetation over winter and spring, and then hopefully next year we'll be able to take advantage of that and plant more native perennials in order to keep that growth going. The northern part of this field, however, is a little bit of a different story, and that part of this pasture had a much thicker vegetation in it, and it's a little more difficult to pick out the seeds that are sprouting in it. And I don't know how well you're going to be able to tell via the camera, but if you get down close, you can tell that even though there's more vegetation here, that the seedlings are sprouting up in the rows where the seeder was able to cut through. Now, some of that might be because the vegetation itself is thicker and it's harder to see those individual seedlings sprouting up, but another portion of that is that there's already competition here from the native forages, so that would have kept some of those seeds from sprouting. But it's still really early, so I don't know if we can call it just yet on how successful the northern portion of this front pasture has been. But I'm still seeing some good germination, and it'll be interesting to see how well it does here in the next couple weeks once those seedlings are able to get more growth on them. There is one exception, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to see this on camera just as well as I can. But this one strip is probably doing a lot better than it should. And that's because when I was finishing up in this pasture, I had a good amount of seed left in the drill, and I didn't want to hold on to it because I was afraid it was going to get wet with the rains that were coming, and then, just make a mess of the cedar. So I completely opened it up and then drug it back to the house, and that's why a lot of this is so much more prominent, because it got a super heavy dose of seeds, which I'm really hoping doesn't come back to bite me. But we'll see. It's a learning experience. Alright, I still got to go check out the south pasture and the lower pasture and see how they're doing. Had to get another shot of this area as I'm walking back to the south pasture. This area is a runoff zone from the horse pen, so a lot of the nutrients from the horse manure get washed out into this area. So it's really good to see that we had such a great germination rate right here, because that's really going to benefit from everything coming off the horse pen, and it's really going to work well for keeping the soil in place. So really happy to see that part. Excuse me, sir. I would appreciate you not digging in my field. That's better. Go play in the road. Dang armadillos. Out here in the south pasture now. And I don't think I got a lot of this one on video when I seeded it, because we were in that mad dash to try and get the seed in before the rain hit us. So I ended up didn't get a lot of this filmed because of that, and we ended up seeding a lot of this at night. But I'm seeing a lot of the same indications that I saw in the front pasture. The barren areas are germinating really well. And then the areas that have more dense forage in them, one either is really difficult to see or just isn't germinating as well. And some of that is to be expected. I was really hesitant to seed this pasture because in the lower portion of this field, there's already a really good establishment of native cool season grasses, which I think is mostly or predominantly speargrass, but there are some other species mixed in here, and I was really worried about messing that up with seeding. But as with a lot of the things we do, decided to go ahead and do it because I wanted to see what the performance would be like and what the results would be like seeding in cool season annuals into this already established perennial pasture. And there are still a lot of thin areas out here that I know will benefit from it. So again, definitely hopeful and optimistic that this is going to turn out pretty well. Alright, we got one more pasture to look at. I think we're going to have to wrap it up. Well, y'all, lower pasture is a little bit of a different story. So unlike the front and south pasture, there's very little to any germination out here. And I think you can kind of attribute that to two things, really. One is timing. We weren't able to get out here and get seed in the ground before the storm blew in like we were with the other two pastures. And we ended up seeding this area about 2 days after we had all that heavy rain. So there's still moisture in the ground, but not near the moisture that the front and south pasture had for the seed that was out there. And the second thing is, out here we went straight triticale because the thought was it was going to have the least potential to have a negative impact on the native grasses out here in terms of reseeding itself and competing. But the downside to that is that it's a monoculture and you don't have the benefits of diversity to let those seeds that may perform better in the environment as opposed to just a straight triticale, which is one of the reasons why doing seed mixes is usually a good idea, because you get the advantage of diversity of seeding hogs all around me. Just love those boogers. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. So you get the benefits of the diversity of seeds, and that those seeds that will perform best in the environment. Well, what I'm trying to say is, with a diverse seed mix, you're going to have the greatest chance of finding the seeds that are going to have the greatest potential for performing in any given environment. And you don't run the risk of a monoculture failing because it's not best suited for the area that it's planted. But it is still early, and if we're able to get more moisture, then I think that seed still has a chance. But at the same time, we're also not expecting any moisture in the next 10 days or so. Well, y'all, thanks to our lovely time change, I'm about out of daylight. And I still have quite a few chores I need to knock out, so I'm going to end it here. Thank y'all for tagging along. We hope to see you again on Wag Ranch.
Hey, Grace. Grace. You gonna unload that for Mom? Ailey? Ailey? Oh, you're deaf. Never mind. You wanna help? Gracie? You wanna help? You wanna help? Yeah. Yes, you can. Just get right on that money load right there.